Hey guys, what's going on? James here. In this video today, we're going to be talking about how the Buccaneers have restructured a few contracts in an effort to free up some salary cap space for this 2025 offseason. I am not alone in this video today. Joining me is Mr. Evan Wanish of the Cannon Fire Podcast and BucsNation.com. Evan, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy to talk about some of the restructure, some of the moves the Buccaneers have done, and what it may or may not mean for the Bucs offseason here.
Now, the reason I'm making this video is because, like, look, whenever I think, like, the first restructure that came out, Evan, you could help me out with this, but I think it was, like, Tristan Wirfs. That came out, like, a week ago, something along those lines, right?
Yeah. It was a couple weeks ago. Yeah. That was the first one. Yep.
Then, and help me out here, they restructured Mike Evans' contract yesterday?
Believe so.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I believe there's been a flurry of moves over the last day or so.
And they've restructured Antoine Winfield Jr.'s contract today, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
And I do believe this is per Aaron Wilson. They may have made a restructure of Baker Mayfield's deal as well.
Okay, so just a flurry of restructurings, right? Is
Hmm.
kind of the point of this video. Now, per over the cap, okay, at least whenever you go on their homepage here, Evan, it says the Buccaneers have $30.9 million in salary cap space currently, okay? Then, however, whenever you click on the page and it takes you to the Buccaneers page, it says they have 16.5 million. So I don't know which number to believe here, Evan. I'm gonna assume it's that $30.9 million. Is that a safe thing to say?
Yes, I believe that number. So actually, the funny thing is, this morning when we were recording this video, I actually checked. I had checked over the cap actually, and it had that 16 number. And then in like that same spot. And now when you go and look, it is a bit more updated. So yeah, I believe that that number is correct now because again, it takes these websites a little bit, to update with those things. So,
Sure.
with the full details, and I'm sure it may honestly not even be 100% up to date because there's been so many restructures here. But I'm guessing that at least will definitely cover probably the Tristan Wirfs one, as well as definitely probably the Mike Evans one.
So $30.9 million, right? That's a good chunk of change, okay? And it's an interesting conversation to me because when I first see that number, I go, okay, well, that's, sign your draft picks money and then maintenance after, for like the regular season and things along those lines, right?
Mhm.
But I have seen some people commenting like, "Hey, is something brewing? What's going on here? They're freeing up a lot of money. Why are they freeing up so much money?" What are your thoughts and opinions on this whenever you see that $30.9 million mark? Because to me, I see, okay, you're paying your draft picks and you're having some extra cash after that in case you want to bring in some guys after the NFL draft. Not even big name guys, but I'm talking about undrafted free agents, things along those lines. And if anybody gets hurt, you can bring in some guys later on down the line. That's what I think that money's used for. What are your thoughts and opinions on that?
Yeah, I would agree. I do think because you're looking at probably around anywhere from 8 to 12 million for the draft picks. That's typically what the number is. Now, I mean, it also depends. If you have more draft picks, that's more money, right? So, the more picks you have, the more money you're going to have to allocate to that. And then also, like you said, just guys, injuries or whatever it may be. Just I think you mentioned the word just sort of maintenance kind of. I think that's most likely what this is, and then the reason I think that is like I don't see anything on the trade market brewing, and when you look at this point, if you look at the remaining free agents, I mean, who out there is going to be breaking the bank for you at this point to where you need that many restructures? I just don't really see it, right? So, I mean, like right now, like one of the best available free agents is a guy like Rasul Douglas. Maybe I don't know. I know Asante Samuel Jr. still out there. There's been a couple people that have been talking about him. I don't really think he's a fit for the Bucs, but I mean, I wouldn't expect anything imminent. I know that, like you mentioned, whenever the Bucs make these moves at any point, um, a lot of people always like to speculate that, oh, maybe something could be brewing. But when you look at the free agent list and who's left, there's not a ton there at this point. So I would say it's most likely just for to have that cap space that they need to have. So I wouldn't really expect anything. But hey, you never really know.
Yeah, I mean, like I've still been keeping track of the available free agents, right? I mean, look, like who are you gonna spend that money on? You know, like it really there's who's the best available free agents? Like a Zadarius Smith, the Jawan Bentley, Razul Douglas, like you said, Asante Samuel Jr. Maybe if they wanted to get some type of safety, but like none of those things, like those are all like $4 or $5 million moves in my opinion.
Yeah.
The only other thing I thought about where I was like, but it doesn't make sense is like you still hear stuff about the Trey Hendrickson stuff not going well. Um,
Mhm.
but even then, like you said, it doesn't feel like anything's brewing in that trade market. Is that fair to say, especially regarding a guy like Hendrickson?
Yeah, it does feel like they're sort of at a standstill here with Trey Henderson. I think the Bengals want him. It's tough. The Bengals want him back, but the Bengals want him back at a price that he just simply does not feel he is worth. So that's why we're at this point. And yeah, if the Bucs had not signed Hassan Reddick, maybe maybe that's something where you could be looking at it and be like, wonder if they're gearing up for something here. But signing Reddick, even though it's a 1 year deal, signing him and moving assets for Trey Hendrickson, I just don't. Plus, giving him a massive contract isn't something I see the Bucs doing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, people also forget too. Like, I'm also looking at the 2025 free agency spending so far to this point. The Bucks are, I think, let's see, number 9 in terms of free agency spending this offseason with
Yeah.
$78 million, Evan. So it's like,
Mhm. It
wasn't
just
it?
it doesn't feel that way because well fans don't view it that way because they don't think of re-signings when actually in reality like yeah your re-signings are free agency signings basically.
Yeah, they've spent a lot of money in terms of re-signing. So I mean, I don't see this money going towards like some big flashy move. I think a lot of it is just going to be, hey, paying your draft picks, and then maintenance after that. Maybe you do bring in some of those guys that we just mentioned in terms of the after draft free agency pool, but that's like non-expensive types of deals, right? So, um, it is good that they're freeing up that money. Obviously, you want to have that flexibility, and you want to have. I mean, it means they're gonna have to spend that money later on down the line, which may not be as good. But I mean, they have the money to pay their draft picks right now. They have the money to make some moves after the draft in terms of some more low key type of stuff, and that's a good thing in my opinion. So, um, me and Evan don't think anything is particularly brewing, guys, but we'd love to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you feel like, hey, they're really gearing up to go get Trey Hendrickson and say, we're going to go try and win a Super Bowl now. Maybe. I don't know, man. I mean, they may go out there and do something that we're not expecting in terms of making some type of big trade. Sometimes that happens around the league as well. So you guys are more than welcome to disagree with us. Would love to hear you guys sound off in the comments section. Guys, go check out Evan's work over at his podcast, the Cannon Fire Podcast, as well as BucsNation.com. He does some fantastic work over there. And guys, as always, we will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.